Quote Retreat by Sandor. One quote, one reflection, one thought that could bring a moment of light and energy to your day. Join me as we take a look at today's quote. The quote is by John C Maxwell, born 1947. It reads, "A leader is one who knows the way and shows the way." Let's take a moment together to explore the messages within this quote. Leadership. We think we understand it, but what if the most powerful leadership principle could be summed up in just 8 words? Today, we're exploring a deceptively simple quote that has transformed how millions approach leadership.
You know what's fascinating about that quote? A leader knows the way and shows the way. It comes from John Maxwell, who's written over 100 books on leadership. That's some serious dedication to understanding this concept.
Here's what blows my mind about Maxwell's approach. He started developing these ideas back in the 1960s, and they've remained relevant through massive societal changes. Like, think about it. From the post-war era through the digital age, his core message hasn't needed to change.
That makes me wonder, how has he managed to keep his principles so relevant through such dramatic changes in how we work and communicate?
So that's one of the most interesting parts. Maxwell figured out that true leadership isn't about technology or techniques, it's about human connection. You know, his bestseller, The 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership, has sold millions of copies because it focuses on these timeless principles that work whether you're leading through Zoom or in person.
Let me add something surprising about his impact. His work has influenced leaders in over 150 countries, from Fortune 500 CEOs to community organizers. That's pretty remarkable for someone who started as a small-town pastor.
Well, speaking of his influence, here's what sets Maxwell apart. He completely flipped the traditional leadership model on its head. Instead of seeing leadership as being at the top of the pyramid, he teaches that true leaders should be at the foundation, lifting others. It's like you're not successful unless the people around you are growing too.
That's such an interesting perspective shift. It's almost like he's redefined what success in leadership means.
Exactly. And you know what's fascinating? When organizations implement Maxwell's principles, they typically see a 30% increase in employee engagement. It's because his approach focuses on developing people, not just achieving goals. Like, he teaches that every interaction is an opportunity to either build or diminish leadership influence.
You know what stands out to me about his teaching style? He makes these complex leadership concepts so accessible. It's like he's democratized leadership development.
Well, that's actually by design. Maxwell has this philosophy that leadership is like a muscle that can be developed. He's found that about 95% of all leadership skills are learned rather than innate. So when he says knows the way and shows the way, he's saying anyone can become a leader if they're willing to put in the work.
That reminds me, his research shows that the average person influences about 10,000 others during their lifetime. That's pretty mind-blowing when you think about it.
Yeah, and here's what makes that statistic even more powerful. Maxwell teaches that this influence multiplies when you focus on developing other leaders. Like, if you develop just 10 leaders, and each of them develops 10 more, suddenly your impact reaches thousands of people.
So what do you think are the most practical applications of his know and show philosophy in today's workplace?
Well, let me break this down. Maxwell's research shows that organizations that intentionally develop leaders at all levels see about 40% higher employee retention rates. It's because when people feel they're being developed, not just directed, they're more likely to stay and contribute. You know, it's this beautiful cycle where knowing and showing creates more leaders who then know and show others.
That's fascinating how it creates this ripple effect throughout an organization.
And here's what's really powerful about that ripple effect. Maxwell's studies have shown that when leaders actively mentor others, their leadership effectiveness increases by about 60%. It's like the more you show the way to others, the better you get at knowing the way yourself.
Let me share something interesting about that. His research indicates that the most effective leaders spend about 70% of their time developing others, rather than focusing on their achievements.
You know what's crucial about those numbers? They completely challenge our traditional metrics of leadership success. Instead of measuring just bottom-line results, Maxwell suggests measuring how many new leaders you're creating. He's found that organizations that prioritize leadership development are typically 50% more likely to outperform their competitors.
That's such a powerful shift in how we think about leadership effectiveness.
Well, here's the thing that really ties it all together. Maxwell's work shows that this know and show principle creates what he calls a leadership multiplication effect. When one person commits to both knowing and showing the way, they typically develop 3 to 4 new leaders within a year, who then go on to develop others. It's this exponential growth that can transform entire organizations.
And it all starts with that simple but profound idea of knowing and showing the way.
Exactly right. And as we wrap up, here's what I think is most important to remember. Leadership isn't about position or power, it's about impact. Maxwell's research shows that when leaders focus on showing the way to others, their influence continues long after they've moved on. It's like creating this endless positive ripple effect that keeps touching more and more lives. With that, we conclude this exciting episode. If you enjoyed this episode, I'd appreciate a like and a comment. Don't forget to subscribe. Thank you. Your support truly helps this channel grow. See you again tomorrow. Yours, Sandor.